Well, it's been a while since I have even turned this microphone on. To be honest, this so I got a Blue Yeti around what 2016 or so. This is back when I was still playing World of Warcraft, and so you'd use voice over IP software. We really stuck with TeamSpeak, I think, and I just needed a better microphone. And this was also around the time, if you will remember, way back when I actually used to make content, that I'd be streaming a lot, and microphone quality is obviously very important for that. So I got a Blue Yeti but now it was sitting in my work locker because a lot of the work that I do, especially given the times, is a lot more virtual. So I had to have a good quality microphone for that. The only issue is my work laptop is a Lenovo ThinkPad, and it only has two USB sockets, and I use a wireless mouse and a wireless keyboard for that. Because otherwise, you'd have to use the touchpad and whatever the fuck. I don't want to deal with that on a laptop when I'm trying to work efficiently. So I've been using my gaming mouse pad and mouse mat, but I've also just using the USB. So those two are kind of split up. So for this ramble, I only have access to my mouse, as it were. So you're just going to have to deal with that. Anyway, welcome to the 2020 Ironman Ramble. Wow. Didn't think those words would come out of my mouth, but here we are. What I did on the way to work today was, by the way, yeah, working man, dad man, trying to do dad life stuff, but also play RuneScape at a competitive level. We'll talk about that later, I guess. What I did on the way to work today was I listened to my 2019 ramble, which is the last ramble I released on June the 23rd. It's currently July the 7th, and I did originally plan to release the 2020 ramble on June 23rd. Maybe June 23rd could be like the ramble day, where June 23rd, 2021, you'll have the next ramble. Maybe I'll make it a yearly thing. I'm just as a forewarning, just in case people are expecting a lot more content from me. This is not going to be the case. It's only the case that one, I haven't done it in like a year. It's been a year since I given an account update on what I've been doing, all of that. And I know that people are kind of wanting to know, what's your account like? You used to share so much every month, but what's going on now? People also care about me as a person, which is flattering, but so that demand is also there. Yeah, it's just been a while. So I'm setting this up as I don't have to do another one for a year. Hopefully nothing will fundamentally change. Kind of like Curtis's, right? Curtis does a year bank video. I'm going to do mine 23rd of June. It's the 7th of July right now. Don't at me. I'm just saying I'm going to try that out. So anyway, on the way to work today, I listened to my last ramble just to see where I was at, the stuff that I was talking about, the goals I had in mind, and where I achieved them. And I've got a list here just to the side of the stuff that I talked about. One of those was getting 200 mil crafting, or just kind of mining the stuff needed for 200 mil crafting. And I can tell you now that I'm still where I was at a year ago. I said I had only gotten halfway through, which is around 460k, 450k buckets. I'm still around there. I've probably done another 25k, 30k buckets or so in the meantime, just kind of playing around with mining and stuff. And especially because the Ring of Endurance is out. That's something I need to add on actually into the content to talk about. Again, but my keyboard's not plugged in, so I need to. I'll just remember that. So, the Ring of Endurance is out as well. So any stamina potion methods are now a lot more buff, so you can do them for longer without having to bank. And sandstone mining is one of those which has been affected. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that, sorry, it's an echo, by the way. I'm at work. I'm in the work office at the moment. As you can see in the corner, I've got 2 MS. So I'm in central London on a 1 gig fiber connection, right next to any Jagex servers, I think. So I'm on 2 MS. It's fucking beautiful playing here. But I'm just recording this essentially and cutting redwoods on the side. Anyway. And there's the sniffers again because it's hay fever. Anyway, so any method with the Ring of Endurance has been pretty much buffed to where you can do it consistently. You don't have to bank as much. So in a way, I'm kind of glad I didn't continue with this because they released the ring. It means it'd be a lot more comfy for me to do my thing. So there's that. The other thing I wanted to do was Slayer because I had the idea that they would nerf Vorkath, and I've heard. So honestly, I don't really pay attention much to Reddit or Twitter. RuneScape stuff. I have like my own community page now. I've separated out the politics side with the RuneScape side, and I've kept my page pretty much strictly RuneScape. Obviously, there's a lot of crossover with a lot of the things that had happened in the community around allegations and things. And yeah, unfortunately, that's a political matter. But hey, that's what, when you're dealing with humans, that's kind of why I have to deal with it. And I haven't really talked on that much, and I probably won't talk on that much here. You can save that for my private account, which I have actually made private, and I have made a couple of comments in the past about having separate private Twitters, but this one isn't advertised. So if you find it, well done. And if you manage to click it, and there are ways to find it. I'm not going to tell you how, but if you send a follow request and you find it, that would be well done. You get access to my deeper inner thoughts that I can't really share publicly. So, so there we go. Anyway, funny story about that actually. So I did make a public post about one of the allegations coming through, and I will name names. So OSRS Katie, she said, wow, I was talking about the Mike Pence rule. If you don't know what the Mike Pence rule is, Mike Pence rule is basically you don't have dinner with another woman by yourself, and any event where there's alcohol, you make sure that there's someone else with you or your wife's attending. And really what it is, it serves multiple rules essentially, but the main rule that it serves for me in particular is it leaves no room for speculation for my wife's sake, because you don't want to put that air of suspicion in the family. So if there's anything that you could do to really err on the side of caution to protect the mental state of the family and the structure of that, then that's fine. The side effect is that you also don't get any allegations thrown at you, because women do lie, and there have been an array of false allegations. Sorry, there have been. So, and don't get at me as like, oh, why would you do it? Clout. You can't pay rent with clout. It's like, no, that's how social ladders work psychologically in human beings. You can climb socially and feel psychologically satisfied with the results of that, even though there's no material or objective thing there. And in fact, it's probably even valued more because value is a lot more subjective than objective. So anyway, this is a ramble, but I don't know how I got onto this anyway. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about separating Twitter and stuff. So yeah, I said, guys, the Mike Pence rule in 2017, like, follow it. You won't get not only is it a great value to live by. So I'm just hovering over crafting still. Not only is it great value to live by in terms of if you are with someone else and you do value that relationship more than anything else in the world, which I do, and if you don't understand where that's coming from, then you obviously haven't been in one to that level. I can say that as a married man with a child now. Hilarious. I'm talking on my high horse, but honestly, if you don't understand where that's coming from in terms of being a man and a woman in that relationship, then you throw out, oh, you're just a rape sympathizer to me. Then I say, actually, I'm recently married and I recently just became a dad, and in fact, I think I would probably serve out more punishment for rapists than you would, Miss Leftist, who would probably be for rehabilitation rather than corporal punishment. But never mind. But anyway, so this is why I split out. This is why I split out the Twitters, because these things can cross-contaminate, especially with a public-facing profile, and especially with the Times as well. You don't want to have anything be misconstrued, because with text, right, you're reading it as if it's in your head, because you're reading it in your own voice. You don't, unless you know the person and you're reading it in their voice. For example, I read all of Sammy's tweets in his voice, and also read it as like Toby Jones. So like I read his tweets and anything that he says in that voice. But if you don't know the person, especially when you're a public-facing person, these things can have impact on your career and your actual real world outcome. Obviously they do, and even if you've done nothing wrong, but if you just think the wrong way or someone just disagrees with you, I don't like the thing that you said, so I'm going to ruin your life. That's just not something I want to deal with. So I'm separating it out and I'm keeping it as separate as possible. I'm muting and blocking people who I know will be a threat to my lifestyle and who I am and the people who I love and want to care for. And I recommend that you guys do the same, just not even on a RuneScape thing. This is a dangerous time to be in for anyone who doesn't agree at all in any aspect with the current prevailing zeitgeist of just the way of thinking. I won't even name it really because it keeps changing all the time. But you guys know if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And you have to be very careful, especially for those who think that way. You got to think to yourself, there are a lot more people who actually disagree with you than you think. So what makes you think, especially in your worldview where you think that democracy is actually serving something, like if more people vote for it, then it must be good and you must enact it. Well, if a lot of people say, no, I actually don't disagree with this, and you're the minority opinion, then maybe you should change your mind. Maybe that should make you pause to think, but it doesn't, because it's a psychological worldview, and for that type of satisfaction rather than anything which is true and just and moral. Basically, yeah. Anyway, I won't get into that. Let's get back to RuneScape. Yeah, I bet you guys missed these rambles, didn't you? So let's get back to RuneScape. I was gonna then continue doing Slayer, hilarious, because I thought they would nerf 4CAF, and I've been hearing a lot. Yeah, this is how I got onto the Twitter stuff. So I've been hearing a lot of rumbles and stuff that they've been nerfing 4CAF a lot more recently than last time. So now that I've done a lot of things on the account which readies me for it, I'll be able to actually go and do that in a comfortable way. The only thing I'm probably missing would be the Inferno kilt, but come on, guys, I'm not going to be doing TOB anytime soon. I don't have time for that shit. I can only do solo shit, you know what I mean? So then, so this was also before WoW Classic came out, and that's come and gone now. I don't really have any more comments to say about that, except for I did do 1 to 60. I did gear up to be a druid tank in dungeons, and I got full pre-raid bliss. And then I just kind of, again, similar to the WoW stuff, I didn't really want to raid. I didn't really want to be like I didn't really want to dedicate the time needed to be a raiding person. Even though even though the desire was there, it got to the point where I knew that the trade-off wasn't worth it, especially considering all the stuff that I've done in the previous WoW game in terms of high ranking stuff, like rank 1 mage, all these things. There wasn't really much to achieve because it was basically more of the same, just in a different role. And tanking was fun. It was fun to learn. Playing druid was cool. But ultimately, the game just wasn't for me in terms of the amount of time I needed to dedicate it, especially because my wife was pregnant at the time. So that would have been obviously something which wouldn't be smart to do. So there's that. So WoW Classic came and went. I came back to the game after 107 days. That was the first post I made back on my account, and that's the first post that you'll see on that account. Obviously, I deleted a few things before then, but I wanted to keep that prosperity of there. So after 107 days, Jack still didn't pass me, which was, not surprising. And I started my job. So yeah, I'm in the office now, just doing work. I'm a business psychologist. I consult people about leadership and talent, motivation and assessments and coaching and all these things. And that's been a really cool and fruitful job. I'll get on to later about the real life stuff in terms of furlough, because that's been a bit of a hiccup in terms of my job security. But hopefully I'm coming to the end of that now, where I'll be a lot more safe with where I'm at, so I can continue doing what I like to do. Yeah, another thing I talked about in the Ramble in 2019 was still on the pre stuff, guys. It's going to be a long haul, don't worry. I'm going to keep going and just give you guys all the content that you honestly deserve. I mean, like it's surprising how the backlog of rambles that I have. I know people have told me that they listen to them on a regular basis. Like shit, I haven't even listened to them since then. I might even, like, if I really had all day to really stream, I would probably do a one-off stream of just listening to all of my rambles in a row and kind of just thinking. I might even do that just as an offline recording, just in pieces. Although I don't have access to my desktop anymore, so it's just gonna be a one-shot recording of things. But so I can't really edit it that much and do it piece by piece. It has to be a whole day trip. But yeah, people tell me that they watch them still, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I mean, but at the same time, I used to watch Lelador's old rambles. And there are still rambles I would go back and watch now just to kind of see where they were at. And it's a really cool time capsule of what the game was like at the time, especially Ironman mode, because it changes so fundamentally. Like a game update can completely shift and cut like hours off it, especially with certain updates now. Hold on, I just need to sniff my nose. Yeah, you're glad you didn't hear that because that was fucking disgusting. Anyway, yeah, there are rambles that happen which I would go back and watch. So it's not surprising to me that I used to do it, so people would do it for us, but it's still a surprising thing to hear, So there's that. But yeah, another thing I was still talking about back then was using more banked XP before I thought I would not come back to the game. And this is mainly around concerns of account security. Like, say I lost all of my bank stuff, which I'll show you later on. But say I lost all of that, that's like thousands of hours gone. and you kind of just want to be able to spend it really. But again, Ironman mode is more about stacking it up and then using it at the end. So you don't really know, especially with the metas changing. Just gonna take a sip of water. What's that? But yeah, apart from the 107 days I was gone, the I've been consistently doing my dailies the whole time. So birdhouse runs, herb runs, and farming contracts, because those are always going to be valuable things to do. Things that and also potato cactus and white berries as well. I've been doing those as well, because those are always going to be things that you'll need to do eventually anyway. And I consider those to be zero time, especially considering in Mr. Pandaria in World of Warcraft, dailies were like the shit, right? And I would always just do dailies. I don't mind doing dailies at all. I think they're probably not healthy for the game in terms of like, oh god, I have to do dailies. But if you do ignore them and your goal is 200 mil, all you need to be able to learn to love that's going to be the case, especially around birdhouse runs, herb runs, etc. So there's that. And finally, we talked about alt metas as well, and my opinion's kind of changed on that, because it's still a thing where people use alts. There's been no clarification on it. Well, there's been some clarification in terms of it on Iron Man, where Jax is like, can't do shit really. We tried cannonball stuff, but for Smoke Devils, but it's whatever. And now it's just part of the game. I personally decided not to use alts because I can't be fucked training another thing, or paying for additional membership, or trying to drop over for bonds or whatever for a third, for a main to try and do that. It's just like, it's whatever. I don't really want to do that. I know some people are making corp alts. More the merrier. I'll do corp solo. That's fine. Yeah, I don't like playing two accounts at the same time. I don't want to be able to maintain that, and yeah, it's just the bond cost and the logistics of that is just something that I don't want to deal with. So that's everything that I covered in the old ramble, and I guess I can move on to now a couple things which have come up recently, which I should be able to talk on. So the first one, which I said I would talk on previously, I'm just going to pull up what I said about it, was Frasergate. Now, if people don't know what happened, I was quite far removed from this whole situation, even though I'm part of the channel that this was in, and it's very important to pay attention to the language that I use when describing this situation, because there was a lot of people who would hate Olympus regardless of what we did anyway, and this was just more reason for them to pile on and have no understanding of who was involved and the way things are structured. Basically, what happened with Frasergate was that this was while I was asleep, and in a channel which was called The Freak Show, which was the degenerate channel where we would spurg out and post shit that would probably get you cancelled if it was leaked, which is why we didn't leak shit. But it's an outlet just to be the type of person, freely express yourself and be the type of person you wouldn't normally be, but understand that these things need to be expressed, and it's all fun and games really until it isn't. And this is where it got to the point where it isn't. And obviously it involved Fraser, where a lot of things that he's done, which I never actually considered to be worthy of cancelling someone, because I never saw the evidence for it. Like, I just thought the evidence of like pay spins and like accounts that people had of him was strong enough compared to the experience that I had with him, which was pleasant up until he got banned and removed as a leader, which is where I was like, okay, well, if you're doing this and you're kind of being a shitter about it when it's obviously the case and being confirmed, even though, again, I think I talked about this in the old ramble, these instances wouldn't be confirmed, but there you go. There'd be like false positives. For example, Tyler got unbanned, which is mad, and they said, "Oh, you got banned for like HK or name trading," but he got unbanned, and is he online now? He's not, but yeah, Acabella's back, so someone got banned. They said no, it's confirmed, and then they got unbanned. So what the fuck happened there, Jagex? Like, we said, yeah, it's not true, and then it got done, but anyway. But for this one, it was pretty obvious. Anyway, so yeah, compared to my experience with Fraser, I actually I didn't mind him being around up until the point where he got banned and then removed from his lead, and then there wasn't really any reason to really talk to him much anymore. Especially from I'm talking personally. Like, so I've privately, it's the first thing in my tweet says, I've privately disassociated from him for a long time. And that's true, even though after most people had said, oh, fuck Fraser, especially but again, the type of people who did that previously were also the type of people who you probably wouldn't want to talk to anyway, because they're just kind of losers. Just being honest, this is what I personally think. So yeah, I would still talk to him, but up until that point. So, but yeah. So what happened was that, from what I can recall, he made up a rumor that an Ultimate Ironman, who I didn't know, but is apparently very popular, killed his dog because he lost in a bingo or something, and that's obviously fucked up. Just as a rumor. But then he also made fake DMs. Which, like, first of all, why would you do that when the two people involved you don't know, and they can obviously say, no, this didn't happen. Like, here's all our DMs. This obviously didn't happen, right? So, like, obviously just fucking stupid. And even regardless of what it is, if you fake DMs, I don't want to be your friend, because that's just fucking stupid and just wrong and just immoral. So, but the fact that it was even the topic at hand, and this guy didn't even, like, it's just, like, for multiple reasons, the biggest one being it just being a completely fucked up thing to do to someone on any level. I think it was justified, the reaction that it had, and we so there's that in that way. So the person got punished, right? Now the fucked up thing, for me, from my perspective, really, and I still hold true to this, is my second point, really, which is the fact that the clan had to make a statement on it in the first place demonstrates how wrong it was to keep him around in our Discord after his initial D rank. And the reason why that was the case, because if you didn't know, so there's the Olympus Discord, right, which is the clan Discord. But within the Olympus Discord, there is a channel called The Freak Show, or there was a channel called The Freak Show, which you had to be invited into and pretty much, like, verified, essentially. Although that got pretty crowded, which is probably where it got to the point where things had to get a bit more shut down. So the Olympus clan, and some people in Olympus didn't even know this channel existed, right? It would be referenced and stuff, but mainly for clan friends and things. The Freak Show would just be its own entity. So if you were there, you would understand that the Freak Show was its own entity and had nothing to do with Olympus as the clan itself. But the fact that we had to make a statement on it meant that a public statement on it meant that people associated Fraser with Olympus, and that should never have been the case, because people confused the fact that it happened in the Olympus Discord, that for it to be related to the clan rather than the actual channel, which people in Olympus and people who weren't in Olympus are part of. So that's where I think the confusion comes from. So I can say this confidently up front, that this situation, whilst happened on Olympus property, wasn't necessarily related to the clan operations itself, and those two are completely different. But people just associated Fraser with Olympus, even though he wasn't part of a leader at all, had no authority really left. He was just part of Freak Show, had nothing else there going. Which moves us to the next point, really, which was that most of the community have and will continue to hate us being Olympus, despite doing the correct action here, which I think we did. Completely removed him from the Discord, just fully supported any public actions and things thrown at him, really, because that's just, we all admit that was just a fucked up thing to do. Even given the fucked up things we do in Freak Show, which is just, like, say the most crazy shit, but whatever. But it's all confined. So, like, any apology will never be enough, and it's best to step over these losers anyway. And I fully agree with that. Like, if you fucking hate us because of Fraser, and there's literally nothing we can do, apology or action or anything, which will never satisfy you, then go fuck yourself, because we're just going to keep operating, and you just truly don't understand the way it was structured, the nuances in that situation. You weren't there, so you don't have enough information to make an informed opinion on it. You're just guiding yourself in the fact that, oh, fuck Fraser, which I also agree with. But, like, it's clouding your ability to really understand the nuances of the situation, to where it's affecting people who weren't even involved in the first place. Like, people left the clan, and I would say this as well. If you left the clan over the situation, you also probably didn't understand the structure which was there. And again, that was probably the only mistake there, which was really not removing him after the initial D rank, because these situations can come up. But in our head, we're like, oh, Freak Show is completely different, but people don't understand that. So which is why I think the link between the clan and Freak Show chat channel is too close, and probably should be split further into either into its own Discord, or you need like a clan rank as a prerequisite. And I think what we've done with removing the freak show channel altogether is a good thing. Something where that type of behavior, which was done, cannot be facilitated anymore. Not because it has happened, but because it just will never happen. The people there, we know, will never do that. And if it does happen, then obviously that's a conversation to be had, and the same actions would be taken, because it's just a zero tolerance on that type of shit. That's just fucked up. And yeah, so finally, fuck Frasier, basically. The last point, which I didn't cover in the Twitter thread, if you had noticed, was that you've done worse in your life. If you were honest, you'd be silent instead of burning the witch. Now, this was a comment which was picked up on. It's like, no, I've actually not done anything worse than what Frasier did. That's a fair point. But for some of the people who were piping up, have definitely like called me the N-word to my face on Freak Show when they were part of Freak Show. And now they're acting all high and mighty because they're not in Olympus anymore, they're not in Freak Show. And I'm just like, well, I have your Discord logs in another server where you're saying the N-word like over 1,000 times on the search thing. So I can just leak those and say, well, so now what? But I'm not going to do that because that's just not appropriate. But if you're going to be piping up in public while having a private face, then so what? We can just talk, right? So like the archive for Freak Show is still there. I can probably ask to get access to it. And if you want to see all the messages that you posted in there before saying, oh, Olympus, fuck Olympus, but you were also part of that in that culture, like participating in it, then I'd probably shut your fucking mouth. That's what I was really talking to, because I saw a couple people who I would still consider myself friendly with, but on this instance, I'm like, mate, you're really fucking up here. Like, you don't understand exactly what's going on. So that's pretty much my thoughts on Frasergate. I think we did the correct decision. I think that people associated Frasier with Olympus and then Freak Show with Olympus when they are all completely separate things. Where Olympus didn't really have, but it was just hosted on our Discord as a chat channel for us to spurg out if we wanted to. And that's just the honest appeal about it. You all make sick jokes. You all say things that shouldn't be appropriate in private. And when these things leak out, they have consequences, which is why we don't leak shit. But like the act of in itself, even if it didn't get out, I would personally support him being removed for other multitude reasons. Because if it did ever get out that, you know, he was like, guys, let's spread the rumor that he killed his dog, like that's just fucked up. Like, don't do that. And then faking the DMs was like, oh, fuck you. That's just like unreasonable behavior. So yeah, I mean, because one reply is just like, really sucks to see the actions of one person affect the reputation of the clan of 400 plus members, and that's exactly true. But people love guilt by association because they're just stupid and they're just losers, and you just step over them because I have no time for that behavior in my life anymore, especially with other concerns happening. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Fraser's situation. It's 28 minutes into the ramble, and I haven't really shown you my bank. He's just been standing here, but this is the ramble that you guys wanted. So this is the thing on the screen. The next thing I want to talk about, which is, okay, so 2019 happened. What have I been doing on my account since then? And I'm sure I'll be able to like find like a snapshot of my stats now versus back then, but I'm not really going to go into that. What I'm going to talk about is a shift in perspective that I had when I continued slaying. I was like, I'm just going to do a bit more Slayer. I'm just going to, land some stuff. By the way, I haven't had a Warcraft task in like 2 million XP. I'm really dry on that. Anyway, so I don't want to do any like post, 150 mil, 170 mil of Warcraft. That would suck. Hold on. I just burped again. You didn't really want to hear that. If you remember back to 20 minutes ago. Anyway, so so I've got a Red Dragon task at the moment, and I was halfway through it, and I'm just like, I've got a Dragon Defender in a fire cave. This fucking sucks. Like and I've got a whip. And I was thinking, like, it's 2020. I can't be slaying in this gear anymore. Back when I opened my bank too early. Back when you can pause and frame advance that if you want to take a sneak peek into 30 minutes into the future while I go through my journey of becoming a PVMer. Anyway, because you guys know me, I'm a skiller and I didn't really care that much. And it's not really efficient to go for all these things that I went for. But come on, man, I can't be slaying in a fire cape, a Dragon Defender with an ornament kit on it, and just a normal whip, right? That just fucking sucks. So the first thing I decided to do was get the Blade of Saldor, because they were upgrading it to the permanent version, and that's pretty much the best weapon I could get in the game, without going to TOB and without going to Nightmare. Blade of Saldor was the one, right? So I was like, okay, cool. Let's try and learn the Gauntlet. So with Gauntlet, right? I was going to type, but I was just like, KC corrupted Gauntlet. Yeah, cool. So it's gonna be 567 corrupted gauntlets to get my blade. And honestly, I think the corrupted gauntlet is the best content in the game right now. Post like pre-ordered changes that they made, because I haven't been back. I haven't been back since, but for all the changes that they made, I've heard good things that like these are actually right changes. But corrupted gauntlet pre-changes was some of the best. I think the best content in the game as an Ironman, as a solo player. It's just fucking phenomenal. Like the because there's a timer part of it, so you can speak. There's like personal best. Like if I just go, what's it? PB corrupted gauntlet. 6:43. When I got this time, my goal was to get a sub 7 minute before I got the blade. When I got this time, I was popping the fuck off. It's like it takes the amount of like tick perfect skill and movement and 5-1 and like redemption ticks and all these other things just to get that score. Like, and the prep time as well. So like making the prep efficient. The RNG on trying to find the weapons is shit, and I guess in normal Gauntlet that's going to be fine now, where things will just be a lot faster. But for corrupted, I don't think that's changed. And I kind of prefer it that way, because with corrupted, you still need to be able to make the trade-off and to get the resources to also get the weapon at the same time. Obviously, with the staff being a bit more effective now and the armor changes, I need to figure out the ratios for that if I ever want to go back for that. I also got the pet, by the way, which I'll show you later, but I got the pet before the blade, which was, thank God, because I probably would have stayed for the pet, to be honest. I fucking loved that content. Gauntlet was so good. And for me, with my play style at the moment, with the amount of time that I have, I could just send a gauntlet for like 10 minutes and then I'll be fine. And it also didn't mind me leaving the gauntlet early if I needed to attend to my wife or my daughter. Like, that was fine. I could just step away from it because it's only 5 minutes. Whereas other pieces of content, you're stuck there now. Like in raids, you're stuck there. You can't just leave the raid or pause the raid, or it's just a short time investment for a lot of big reward. So Gauntlet, I think, is the best content in the game right now. And but during Gauntlet, when I started the Gauntlet to get the Blade of Saldor, in my head I was never thinking about getting an Infernal Cape. Never in my mind did I ever think that I would start to learn it. But when I got to around 200 KC corrected Gauntlet, I'm like, fuck, this content's really good, and I'm becoming way better at the game because of it, in terms of my movement, in terms of my tick manipulation, in terms of my prayer flicking, in terms of my resource management, thinking about the next steps and like planning in the future in the boss fight. I really thought that doing the Inferno would be the logical next step after Gauntlet. So as soon as I got my blade, I thought, fuck it, I'm going for it. So I needed to do a couple things before I went for the Inferno. I needed to study a lot of the videos. So I might put in the description all the videos that I used to study it. There was basically a guy called Hi Yo on YouTube who did like a full ACB run. That really helped because I just got to see what it's like to do the waves without a T-bow, essentially. In my head, I was like, I'm only ever going to do Inferno with a T-bow, and I'm never going to go back to Chambers of Xeric because I don't want to go back to Chambers of Xeric, which I might do now because I've got an Inferno cape or whatever. So, but yeah, when I was going for Corrupted Corner, I was like, fuck this, I'm getting the hang of this now. I'm not dying. Like, I'm getting consistent like 7.5 kills an hour. I should be able to do the Inferno. Like, the Inferno seems possible. For the first time in the Inferno's release, I was like, shit, I can actually probably do this, even though I've watched a lot of streams. And when I got into the Inferno, and I'll talk about this a bit later. I was like, yeah, shit, like I already know a lot of stuff already. Why is that going on? Hold on, let me just pause this. Is it still recording? Okay, yeah, so I just paused and unpaused a lot of things. So someone was ringing the office door because they were using the radio station, which is also in this office building. So hopefully that saved the recording, because I don't want to be able to re-record that. I'm already like 35 minutes in. Anyway, so where was I? Fuck. So yeah, the Inferno was definitely possible. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can do this now. So I needed to do a couple things first. I needed to get the ACB, which meant I needed to learn how to do Saradomin. And if you didn't know, I had already gotten my Saradomin hilt. I think I showed this in a previous ramble. I already got my hilt at like 103 KC, and that was the only item that I'd gotten from Saradomin. And I basically lazy soloed that. I didn't do any prayer flicking. like my resource management was bad. I kind of just sent it, and I did that to. Why did I go to Saradomin in the first place? Because I remember off task grinding a dragon crossbow to go do it. I think it was because I wanted a hilt, or I just wanted to go do Saradomin at one point. So, that was the original reason why I got the Saradomin hilt. But then I went back with the dragon crossbow. Anyway, so this was pre-sepulchre, so the ring was out, but I didn't want to use it. And I was doing kills with the crystal shield and the ring of suffering and stuff. And then I just started flicking. I was like, this is actually pretty easy. Like, this is a rhythm I could really get into and just send like 50 kill trips. So I ended up doing like a 50 kill trip with Ring of Suffering, a crystal bow, all my purple sweets, which I'll get into in a bit when I show you my bank. But just like chugging purple sweets, doing that, and I got like a couple more I got so many Saradomin swords. I got a Sarah Light, and then I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just going for it. So I ended up just going full Archer's Ring, at like Book of Law, because I didn't have a Odium Ward or a Twisted Buckler or anything. I just went 0 defense, full range, flicked everything, and it was a really comfy experience where it took me like just like 15 hours or so to get the ACB, which I got at let's see, just go back into this window. Let's see, Casey, Sarah, what was it? Yeah, 458. So yeah, that was a pretty healthy one, and I've fully completed Saradomin now because I got the hill earlier, and I've got 4 out of 4. So again, that was really comfy. And again, doing that for the ACB for the Inferno, I was like, yeah, this is actually pretty simple. Like, the flicking's fine, the rhythm's fine, my movement's fine, my resource management is good. I'm really improving. So the Gauntlet, again, really inspired me to do that. So I got the ACB, and I went, okay, especially with a lot of the real life stuff that's happening at the moment. So I guess I should touch on that a bit. So I'm currently on furlough, and in the UK, the furlough scheme is basically there's no work for you to do, but to retain your job, the government will pay 80% of your wages to the business, so the business can still keep you unemployed. That I should be coming off that program soon, which means I'll be full-time employed. And also, I'm working in the office just by myself. I'm literally the only person in the office at the moment. And when I have some downtime, I can probably just send an Inferno attempt, or in the evenings, or when I get in the morning before work starts, I can just send one. So that's what I did. And I thought I'll never have an opportunity to send Inferno again, especially with the internet connection that's here, especially with my daughter and my wife and moving house and all these other things. I thought I'll never have a time better than now to grind out the Inferno. So that's what I did. I basically got the ACB and then just went straight into the Inferno. I thought, fuck it, I'm just going for it. And I didn't do a farm run. I didn't go anywhere else in the game. And I did attempt after attempt. So I guess so I guess the Inferno journey, and just to basically talk about grats on your farming cape, by the way, grumpy man. Guess in terms of the Inferno journey then. So let's talk about that. So yeah, as I said previously, I had watched a lot of resources. I think like Furco's streams, like hunting for the pet, which is cool to see. I watched a couple speed runs. Obviously watched some of the first attempts back when it was released in 2017. So like 2.5, 3 years ago, and so I knew a lot about the Inferno already, but there were a couple of intricacies which I didn't really understand. For example, how to properly handle the blobs. The blobs I didn't really know how to do properly, and like the particular safe spots and where to stand and things, and how to make sure that you're when at like post wave 50 when the ranger major spawns, how to set them up after the pillar, like killing the blob spawns, killing the nibblers properly. Luring things in if they spawn on the far west side next to the west pillar, how to lure them in while also like keeping your resources safe. A lot of these things which I know now, using the south pillar, which I never actually really used. I didn't really like going to the south pillar too much. I just thought it took the chance, and I really just relied on flicking a lot more than actually like flicking behind the north pillar rather than actually running to the south pillar and kind of chancing it. And like chugging brews, because I never wanted to use any brews during the run. And the run I got the Inferno cape, I didn't use a single brew dose up until triple jads, which is when I pre-potted. So I brewed, restored, range potted for triple jads, and I didn't need to. There were a lot of intricacies that I didn't really know about the Inferno, which is why it only took me 10 attempts. So the first attempt I got to wave 53, like first attempt I got to wave 53, but it was a pretty sketchy attempt. And then after that, I kind of planked on like 47, 48, like just before Mage and Ranger. So it was probably the Mage, Melee, uh, two bats and a blob spawn. I think that's fit 48 or 49. And yeah, I just couldn't handle it because I was trying to do the Mage and also like do the range, but also do the melee, and it's just a lot. But then I changed which I was originally using the safe spot 2 tiles back from the pillar, behind the pillar to safe spot it. But then I found that if I missed the freeze or I was one tick late on the nibbler freeze, then I just completely botch it, and trying to chase them around and trying to get the refreeze on it was bad. So what I did was if you Inferno people will know, but if you're in that safe spot and you do 1 tile diagonal south and then 2 tiles diagonal to the traditional melee safe spot next to that pillar when they're coming in from the south side, I just stood there. I stood 1 tile back, 1 tile north on that corner, and then as soon as I would do a barrage, and then I would assess, have I trapped either the Mage or Ranger post wave 50, and if I have, I'll instantly either keep on Mage Spray or swap to Range Spray because the Mage can't hit me at all. And that was only if it spawned at that backside onto the east side, behind that where the two spawned would be trapped there. So that's how I'd separate them. If they were both spawning on the south side and both trying to hit me, usually one would hit me before the other one, and if it was the range one, that'd be fine. I would just run past after I got nibblers to it. But if it was the mage one, it would hit me once and I'd be able to run back before the ranger hit me anyway, so I'd take no damage. And that safe spot change really made me solve the waves completely, to the point where I never failed a wave after that. I think it was like, yeah, I did 3 Zucks in a row. So my 7th attempt I got to my first Zuck, and then 8th attempt got to my first Zuck. 7th I died at triple Jads because that was my first triple Jads, and then I never failed the triple Jads after that. And then 8th, 9th, and 10th were my full. I completely cleared the waves fully, got past triple Jads, and was on to Zuck. So triple Jads was pretty hard for me to learn the first time. But it's a funny story about my first triple Jad. So I actually killed the first 2 Jads and failed and died to the last Jad. Trying to tag the healers off because I was like, fuck, I was too nervous. I was like, this shouldn't be happening. I shouldn't have done it first time, which is crazy. And again, I just watched videos on how to do it, and that was fine. Yeah, and then I never failed the triple Jads after that and got to the first Zuck. So the first Zuck I got to, my supplies were quite low, and I didn't really know how to use the 2 range spots that you'd bring. I didn't really know the strategy around that, and I actually got past the healers on my first Zuck, but it was scuffed as fuck. So I was too scared to go off long range when I was killing Jad. I didn't time the sets at all. I didn't wait a set, so I got caught off guard. I didn't expect any sets to spawn. My HP thresholds for Zuck I didn't really know, so I didn't really know when to swap out rubies and diamonds. But I knew that now. And after I brewed, I didn't range pot for a while, so I died with like 1.5 range pots left, so I wasn't potted much the whole time anyway. So it's surprising that I got that far past I killed the healers, and then I had a major up, which I decided to keep up, but then a second set spawned. I tried flicking them because I was just like, fuck it, this is the only way I'm going to live. I had 17 HP with no bruise, and I just died from the range hit, so that's just how it was. Second Zuck, I died to a Jad mage hit because I was trying to, again, conserve resources when I had bare resources and I didn't really need to. My up until Jad was like flawless. I didn't miss it. Any hits on Zuck, and my DPS was perfectly fine. The set was fine. Didn't really take any range damage at all, and the major died very quickly. My ruby specs are really good. But yeah, just died on that Jad flick. Again, this is before the healer spawn, so I didn't really have an excuse to miss that prayer at all. I was trying to stay in front of the shield when you're facing Zuck on the right side. So the left side of the arena, if you're facing away from Zuck, and yeah, I just completely died. So, but again, that was me being too scared to go off long range for my ACB to hit Jad on the left side. So I didn't really know what I was doing there. But on the third attempt, it was the best wave I've ever done. I didn't use a single brew dose again, and I think I used 2 doses of restore on the waves. And I basically camped out my SGS. Like, if you guys are doing your first ever Inferno, you've got to be patient with it. And every single spec, just like SGS it. And if you ever like take a hit, just always blood barrage, like the rangers or the mages or the blobs or anything. Just take your time with it, and just like patiently just one tick flick things and really conserve your shit. Honestly, if it wasn't for the Gauntlet, I wouldn't have done the Inferno. So props to whoever designed the Gauntlet, because that made me get the Inferno cape. Yeah, got to the Zuck. My specs were okay. Ranger spawned. I took 2 big hits actually, and I had to brew mid-ranger kill. So that made me use free doses and a restore. The major took a while to die, so I got scared that my timer would be eaten into. But then I got to 600 HP, paused the timer, killed the mage, spawned Jad, and then the Jad kill was actually pretty fine in terms of speed. Then I got Zuck to like 247, I think. Waited for the next set to spawn. Killed both sets. Again, the major took its fucking time. Spawned the healers, killed the healers. Again, had to brew during the healers. I got to 10 HP. And I knew a redemption tick wouldn't save me, so I was like 2 ticks away from dying. Did that while Shield was enraged, and just basically went to town. I didn't know when the next set was going to spawn, but I basically anticipated it on every corner. I thought they could only spawn when you reach the corner, but that wasn't the case. It was just on timer, and it was just after the shield was coming out of the left side as you're facing Zuck that I was able to catch the mage tag, long range the ranger, and then sort to blowpipe, double spec'd it down, and that was fine. They just kept the major up and killed Zuck. As you see in my kill screenshot, I had like 6 brew doses left and like 2.5 restores. Like I probably took way too many restores for how good my waves were and how good I was at flicking the waves. So I think next, if I was to do it again, I would take probably one more brew and one less restore. So I go with, I think 7 restores. No, 9. I can't remember how many restores, but basically one less. I'll swap a restore for a brew just to make sure I had an extra brew dose because I didn't need that much prayer. Shout out to Ari Slash for the 2 range spot strats, because when I got to my suck, I was like, I didn't use my range potion. I don't need a second range potion. And Ari was like, no, you fucking need that second range potion, because after you brew in Zuck, right, you can't have the T-bow carry. You need to be 112 range to be able to actually hit proper, and that really helped because I was really slamming him with the diamonds at the end. And the last like 50 HP took a while, but I just followed the shield and it was fine. So it was good I knew about the dead zones as well. I never fell for the dead zone once. In fact, I used it when the shield was coming back into the center because that just made it much easier. I didn't have to focus too much on that. So I always just get to the safe spot when it wasn't in range. When it was in range, again, I just followed the shield and that was fine. So yeah, that's my Inferno story, and I felt really satisfied that I got it done as quickly as I did. It took me 5 days, 10 attempts, 3 Zucks, and the resources I went into for my final Zuck where I actually got the cape, I was very proud of. Didn't take any hits, if I recall, so it was a deserved cape, and following from there, I feel pretty complete with how my gear's looking. In terms of like PVM goals left, the only thing I would probably be going for is completing Zami God Wars, because I've done Bandos, I've done Saradomin. The only thing I'm missing from armor is a hilt, which I'll probably never go back for unless I get a T-bow. Again, I'm never going Cox again, so I don't never going to complete that. And the Staff of the Dead would be nice for tanking wise, and Vorkath, just for staff switching, because I have an Inferno cape now, so that'd be nice. That's really my PVM story, and I feel like me coming from the skiller I was, saying no, I'm going to be slaying with a fire cape, a dragon defender ornament kit, and an abyssal whip, to having an inferno cape and a blade of Saldor, and an ATB complete with Sarah, and learning all these methods and things. I think it's a really, really good journey for me to go on, especially gives me an appreciation for the PVMers. The next logical step, obviously, with the gear that I have now, as I just take a sip of water, would be to go to TOB. But the only reason why I probably wouldn't is because you need a team for it, and I don't have the time dedicated enough to just be around for a team. I have to probably schedule it out, and I don't want to. And there will be times where I have to just dip out and attend to family life matters. So with Saradomin, I could just log out in the room, pick my trip back up with Gauntlet. I didn't mind losing the 5 minutes of prep time because it's just whatever, I could just do it again. With Inferno, you can pause the waves. With TOB, you can't pause. With Cox, you can't really pause unless you're solo, and I don't really want to pause it that long. So, because of my real life, I don't really want to be on the hook for other people's time, essentially. So that really affects my playstyle, which means my PVM goals are pretty much ended, and I'd consider it complete if I get a defender help, but that doesn't seem likely at the moment, unless something drastically changes in my life schedule, which I don't think it will, to where I have time to be able to dedicate the TOB runs. Like I don't even have any. I don't have a TOB KC. I just done the quest for the amulet just to do Sins of the Father. Like I hadn't actually even touched or thought about TOB at all. So that's really in line with where my mindset was previously. But I'm not there now. So yeah, that's the journey. And I guess I'll move on to another topic. So hope you guys enjoyed that little bit. Again, what happened between last ramble and this ramble? I became a dad, which is fucking crazy. So yeah, even before that last ramble, Layla and I, my wife, we were trying for a child, and we had planned for one, and we found out she was pregnant on August the 3rd. So this was just after we came back from holiday of France. Remember in the 2019 ramble I mentioned that, and yeah, it's just fucking incredible. Like it's the best thing. It's the best thing I've done. I think it's obviously the hardest thing. No sleep, getting shat on and sicked on, and you just don't know what they're doing and crying and whatever. But man, it's just so it's actually much easier than I thought it would be in terms of like dad role. But things will come into play when she's like 2 or 3 and actually talking and needs a solid role model in her life to structure herself around and have that dad figure, which I'm really looking forward to playing. My role is really just supporting my wife, so she can support my daughter, and that's kind of how I see it at the moment. That's been working out very well. I'm working, I'm bringing in the money. She's looking after my daughter and actually giving her life and feeding her, which again is a mad process in and of itself. But yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel for people like me or who were like me who thought that they would probably never find someone who they could be happy with for the rest of their life, especially if you're like on RuneScape, right, 24/7 and you're not really meeting anyone. Especially with the type of people who I've associated with in the past who are complete simps. Simping is just not the way forward, and you need to be able to log off and work on yourself outside of this and incorporate it into your daily routines, to make yourself a more wholesome person, to be the type of person where you can more likely than not attract the type of energy which is actually worthwhile to have around in life. And the result of that, my journey over the years in that field, which I can talk about in another video if you guys want to hear about that a bit more. Those people who have listened 52 minutes into the ramble already, I can talk about in another video, has been one of the more fruitful things, I guess probably the most fruitful thing that I've done in my life. So I would, obviously people are like, oh, you have kids, you don't know what you're having when you have kids. And I don't really feel it to that extent, but I would say that it has played a significant role in my life, and I would consider that being the case, despite even given your circumstances in your life, to really consider that pathway, especially if you are with someone at the moment and it's getting to, you really ought to ask yourself, would I want this person to be the mother of my child? And if the answer is yes, then I'll probably do it sooner rather than later, because what's the point in waiting, really? Their clock is ticking, in terms of the likelihood of being healthy for your child. So it just makes more sense, in my opinion, to get it done as soon as possible, especially with the age that we were. It just made sense. So there we go. I think things will always work out fine, regardless if I lose my job or these things. Like, we're not going to be made homeless. The irrational fears that people have around these things, where, oh, what if this happens? It's like, you can't solve problems that don't exist yet. You just got to solve it when they come about. You can't be trying to problem solve things which haven't even happened, because that's really a barrier to like your success and your ability to be able to do things that you actually want to do. Just address it if it comes up, and it's more likely not going to come up. If it does come up, then you've already kind of thought about it already, and you're actually in a position to spend time and energy into actually dealing with it. Who's this pimp here? All right, cool. Why you've got my friend's hat on? Huh? Anyway, yeah. What are you siphoning out there? Anyway, yeah. These things you're actually in a position to address. So, it's a much healthier situation to be in, I feel. So yeah, that's me becoming a dad, and yeah, just it's one of the better things, really. But anyway, back to routine. Let's just take a drink. So I bet you're asking, 54 minutes into this ramble, what are your current goals at the moment? Well, I'm currently sitting at 25-26 virtual level, and I had a feeling that 20 mil always been kind of like a mean goal for mine for a while, and I've just been slowly chipping away at it. Mining was the barrier, but then Sandstone came out, and I got now 24 mil mining. And then runecrafting was a barrier, but I smashed that. And agility was a barrier, but then Sepulchre came out, which again is another really good piece of content, which I would recommend doing because I got the ring as well, which is really useful. Getting 200 mil fire making, I've done a bit more of that. I might go back to that for a bit more total XP because I want to get back on front page again. That'd be nice. What is he doing? Why is he imbue hiding? Where are you going with that? Jesus. He's like fully geared except for anyway. Yeah, so these skills were a barrier, but the only 3 I have left now are fishing, which I'm slowly working on mobile. So I just go there and 5-tick on mobile. Construction, which I actually enjoy doing mithril cape racks. It's actually fine for me to do. It's not bad for me. And I might go further than 20 mil for this skill because I'm inspired by Luke's and Jukebox Romeo's Ramble, where they were talking about construction and the role that it plays in Ironman. And I'll just see how easy of a skill it is to really passively get. I'm still on 10 herb for Kingdom, but I might change that soon with how many contracts and stuff I'm doing and how quickly I don't want to get construction out of the way. Especially with all the gold that's coming with Sepulchre now, I feel like that's a pretty affordable trade-off to make from going from teaks to mahoganies, but that's neither here nor there. And what's the last skill left? Smithing, which fucking sucks, and I don't really want to do it. I did do a bit more smithing just to get the virtual level for it because it was the next virtual level that I was going to do, which is another one of my like side playstyle things now. I kind of want to just go around and see what's the lowest remaining skill left, and I'll just train that until I get to the virtual level for it, and then move on to the next one. Like disregarding, say, all the combat stuff, disregarding hunter because that's passive, disregarding farming because that's passive, just anything else which I can actually actively do, I'll probably train to get to the virtual level for it. So I've got fishing here, the next one would be agility, and then I'll probably do construction and then smithing and then construction and smithing and just like kind of go around and see what it was. It was crafting for one point and I did get it past the virtual level, so again, that's kind of a play style, but then I might also just go for 20 more because that's a goal of mine. Yeah, most of the PVM stuff is done now. Just the Avernic hilt for me to properly slay, and probably the Staff of the Dead for 4Cath if I really went for it. So when I do go back to Slayer, I might unlock Greater Demons and go back to and try and complete Zami, because if you didn't know, back in 2017, what's it, KC Zami. If you don't know, back in 2017, I spooned my spear on 3KC. So going back there, probably getting a second spear for Corp and going for like a Spirit Shield or something, and just seeing if I can get lucky there would be cool. Yeah, all those PvM goals are done now. So the main goals really is 20 more ore, and then grinding up for virtual levels. So doing the next lowest skill essentially. But then that also might bleed into things like 100 mil fire making, or 30 mil ore, 25 mil ore, or those other type of things. So yeah, that's about it for the skilling stuff. I'm now going to, for the last bit of the ramble, 711 to you hit 2 hitty. For the last bit of the ramble, just go for my bank. So I've got in the other screen my previous ramble, so I'm able to compare my bank then to the bank now. So let's take a look. So this is the main screen, and there are a couple of differences from what I'm seeing from that screen to the last screen. First and foremost, I'd actually just crafted a lot of air orbs. So even though I have more battle stats now, you get a fuck ton of battle stats from Gauntlet, guys. Like Gauntlet is really fucking good for GP. Like if you that also probably gave me a good amount of buffer for doing a bit more mahoganies than actually needed. So yeah, really recommend Gauntlet. Gauntlet's best content in the game for sure. So yeah, there's that. Other things I'm noticing: cash stacks like 50 mil higher. I've got rid of my house tabs and my redirection scrolls because I've just been using house stuff. I haven't used a house tab in so long. Even with Saradomin, I just teleported to the Trollheim farm patch and ran down because I didn't want to fuck around with the tabs at all. I just thought I'd rather spend the extra couple of seconds at all just running from the teleport. So my normal like alt setup is here. My alternative like defense setup is here. So, but I got the ring of endurance, which is cool. Other details. So the rune nails, if you didn't know, for Sepulchre, it's worth making the bridges as you run past but not crossing them. So these rune nails, I'll be using the rune bars for that, for 200 mil agility essentially, which is I don't really need the blowpipe anymore for much else really, because I'm done with Inferno, done with Saradomin, done with most raging things really, unless I go back for a hilt PVM wise, and unless something else comes out which I need a blowpipe for, I'm kind of done with that. So I don't really need rune darts for anything. Unless I go to TOB or Cox. So yeah, that's all fine. And I've got like 5k Dragon Darts left, because I swapped as soon as I got to Triple Jazz, I swapped to Dragon Darts, and I just used Dragon Darts since then, so that's fine. And yeah, not much else really here. It's kind of just cleaned up this tab a bit more. I moved some of the Earth Rooms around, some of the Pure Essence I don't need to use anymore. The Maples are now in another tab, so that's that tab there. Another thing, I'm really low on Death Runes. I need to get some more Death Runes because I used a fuck ton in the Inferno. Bloods, I'm pretty low on. And what else am I low on? Souls I'm not low on, but yeah, I use a lot of waters as well. So yeah, cash stack looking good. I've got a couple of alks to get through to get that higher, but again, I might spend that on some more fletching supplies just to get it down, or like plank all my logs when I go for 20 more construction. Just maybe just do all the logs and then do all the planks, and then only use the planks needed for 20 mil. But I might just continue because it's actually a pretty fun skill to do once you get it, and of course the medallion, because that's fine. Yeah, you get a fuck ton of cosmics and natures and everything in Inferno, in Gauntlet. Guys, Gauntlet. Trust me, Gauntlet. Really good. We're in an hour plus already. That's what I promised. All right, let me just find this next tab here. Let's see. I'm just kind of seeking on this. Yep, so cool. Back into this tab now. So any fundamental changes? Yeah, the Eternal Teleport Crystal that I've gotten, the Bottomless Compost Bucket I use for seaweeds only. Just so I don't have to faff around with any like taking runes out. I've got another Eternal Gem from what I noticed, so that's cool. What else? A lot more seeds going around. A lot more Raynor seeds. What drops Raynor seeds? Saradomin again drops a load of Raynor seeds. What else drops them? Crystal Imps that I caught in Gauntlet. Yeah, I have a lot more Raynor seeds than I thought. I pretty much use my. I pretty much swap between Irits, Qualms, and Aventos, and as soon as one of them gets down to less than a herb run, I just swap to the other one just to keep the contracts. But yeah, all these are stacking up. So again, these are all labeled for you guys to see. Tree wise, I haven't really done a tree run in a while. I'm kind of stacking up. The only runs that I'm doing are Spirits and Mahoganies, just these two here, and maybe a couple crystals. But as soon as these are gone, there's probably no other resource for crystals. Unless you guys know a way to get crystal acorns with any shards, but I don't know. I've recently swapped to Iosaur Gang after I did some calculations. So my Chrono Seeds is quite low compared to the rest of them, but I'm going to be going for Iosaur soon. And yeah, just kind of stacking up on these seeds. One thing I would recommend to do, if you are in the farming guild, make it a habit to take out your cash stack. Just like take out your cash stack and go to the shop and just buy out the seeds there. I make that a habit, and that just keeps these like all these jutes that I could farm for the jute farmers. Hello, jute farmers. I could farm for these jutes, but I don't really need to. So that's what that tab's looking at the moment. I've got these icy basalts here, and these are just excess for a lot of the stuff that you'll see in tab number 6. But I might, even though I have the portal in my house, I might just keep using these because it's just useful for me to do that. Herb tab. Let's seek to the herb tab in my old ramble. Come on now. There we go. Cool. So what are the big differences in this herb tab? One thing I noticed right away is the amount of potato cactus that I have. So in the old tab I had 2k, but now I have like 20k. And that's because every herb run I make it a habit to do the one in the farming guild and replant it, but then also do the one in Alcarid and don't replant it. So that means that I'm just stacking up potatoes essentially for any of my Latin times. Snake grass is 0 time, that's 0 time, that's 0 time now because of the Karen patch I also plant. So that's like slowly stacking up. Although I had like 33k back then, so I must have spent my herb tab. Yeah, I did spend my herb tab. Yeah, shit. So back then I had like 27k Harrowlanders. This is where these are now. Loads of prayer pots. Yeah, I spent the whole thing. Shit. So yeah, this is a shadow of the former self. But you know, I'm getting my Irits back up. I had 56k Irits. Jesus Christ, man. And like 40k Toad Flags. No wonder I jumped up. Yeah, my dwarfs are the same. I haven't really spent much on dwarfs, but yeah, fucking hell, that's a lot. Yeah, I had like a lot of bird's nests as well. Jesus Christ, man. So yeah, these are just slowly stacking up. I'm like halfway done with the amount of white berries I need for 200 mil for the Cannatines. You need like 80k Cannatines to get. You get like 80k Cannatines in 200 mil. All. So I'm like halfway through. Even though if you go into the potion tab, let's just seek to the potion tab. In the other tab, come on now. So if you go to the potion tab, come on, potion tab. Why is it coming up? Yeah, if you go to the potion tab, yeah, these are all the potions I actually made from that. So if you compare to last, then that's fine. Yeah, I actually made some divine ranges for Saradomin and stuff. But I'll probably like decant and get rid of these soon eventually. You get Sanfru serums from Sepulchre. Oh my god, that changes the game for sure. Like I can't wait to actually use these in any Zami and stuff. That'd be really cool. But yeah, so as you can see, like I've got a lot of super defenses here, but then I've also got the super combats that I've made, and also the super combat I've chugged over time. So it took me quite a while to actually figure out how many cannons I've used so far. I can probably do an average amount. So like, I've got this amount of herb experience. Through this time, you probably use this amount of cannon time, so I'll be able to see how many white berries I need left. You know the thing. So yeah, here's the potion tab. This next tab is changed quite a bit as well. So this is the clue tab. I've kind of cleared it out quite a bit. Oh, I kind of cleared it out. I'll take the collection log for later. I'll clear it out quite a bit. So I used to keep like a lot of the blessings. I now just drop these, and I'll probably drop these soon because I won't need these for God Wars much anymore. Or I might keep one each just in case they. So a big fear of mine, really, and I'm not sure if other people feel the same way with a lot of the items that I have at the moment, is I can have them in the collection log to know that my account has had them, but they also might release like a clue step with that being the item. So one of my biggest fears was like the blessings or like a dragon crossbow or something where you need the item to complete the clue, and I just don't have it. So yeah, back then in my previous ramble, how many purple sweets did I have? I'm very curious to see how many I used, because I've obviously done a lot more clues since then over the year to get the amount of purple sweets that I had. But then I fucking chugged purple sweets during Saradomin. I absolutely loved the purple sweets. I'm nearly getting there. Just scroll up. Come on, frame advance. You can do it. Why are you taking so long? Oh, I had like I started with like 3.5k purple sweets. So I used like 2k purple sweets during my Saradomin grind. I just like blasted through them. So yeah, a lot of these things, that's currently in the stash unit, but I need to get another split bark body to be able to like build both of them, and then that will save a lot of bank space. I need to grind another scepter to save a lot more bank space. I need to get another arc light to save that bank space. But yeah, as I do master clues, these things will come up, right? In the looting bag, can I just view the looting bag? So yeah, I've got these things, which I know I want. These are like easy and mediums, and some elites. That I've got a musketeer hat too. Hey, Luke. Yeah, just these things I know I won't complete for a while. So, but the rest of the things in here are things that I might actually do. So like easies, mediums, and things. I don't know why I did. Yeah, I need the legs for this, and I think I've already got one of those in the house. I have to check that after this. And of course, the fire cape, my old fire cape, I can just make the stat shooter for that when it comes up. But I'm at 732 out of 816, so I'm able to. I'll just do that. And then these firelighters, so I'm just slowly collecting these. And then the first one that I get to 250 with, I'll recolor my Phoenix with, and then I'll just drop the rest. So I don't really need that. Yeah, you get a lot of alcohols in guys, Gauntlet, trust me. These are all things I need to collect still. So that's that tab. This is the old Zora tab. So I really don't want to like collapse this tab because I'm used to having all my mage gear here. But this is like the old remnants of the Zora tab, right? So if I just go to the old Zora, Zora tab here. So yeah, everything still looks the same. I haven't decanted anything, but I had 516k scales, and now I'm done to 389k. So I'm never going to run out of scales pretty much. I've got all these things here. Yeah, that's just not going to happen. I think I managed to get like 25 more occults. That's cool. A lot more mage logs. Yeah, a lot more grapes, but I spent a couple grapes as well. Just a couple things that are stacking up really. Again, these snake skins, I could probably get rid of these, but I don't really want to. I'm gonna send all. I'll talk about that later in terms of like all my duplicates and stuff. I'm gonna be sending a lot of that into the def storage, for paying for all my defs and stuff because I just don't need it. Seeking to the other tab. So this is tab number 6. This is like all my like skinning stuff, and from what I can notice here, had I cut all the gems already? Let's see. Yeah, so I had cut all the gems already, but again, you get gems through Gauntlet as well. So I got like another 1k rubies, 1k diamonds, a lot, like all of these are from Gauntlet. Although I cut a couple of these already. Let's see. I had got a lot more wines. Let's check the buckets. Yeah, I've done about 30k more buckets since then. So so the goal I talked about the past hour or so, that's all fine. What else? Yeah, this tab's actually pretty messy. I really need to figure out how to reorganize a lot of this stuff because these mind read stacks, I'm like, that's all from Barrows, I'm not going to get rid of. Air runes I probably don't need anymore, to be honest. I can just probably buy a stack if I need it. Same with bodies. Like, why would I need these? for anything else other than like in soul heads or something. But I can just go buy them if I needed to, right? So I could probably save 2 bank spaces there. These I need to make into bracelets when I can, and just cut when I can. So I just save these because I did a lot of that. What else? A lot more giant seaweed. I've got like 16k more giant seaweed than last year, which is cool. What else? Just thinking in terms of like ammo and stuff. So diamond bolts E. I can probably get rid of these because I've got dragons now. Yeah, I'll out close actually, so I'll move it to the alch tab. Runite bolts, I'll be able to put my dragonstone tips and anything else on those. Oops, just kind of spoiled all that. Yeah, got all the buckets I need for 200 more crafting. What else? Teak logs, loads of teak logs, loads of mahoganies. These U's I probably won't be able to use because that's from Mole if I remember correctly. And these adamant bolts, I'm not sure how I'm going to use these because I think you just get runites from Sepulchre. So these adamant bolts are kind of useless now as I'm just going through it. Yeah, I need to convert all these planks essentially. So that's a lot of XP there. Darts I'll never use. Again, I got my dragon darts in there in my blowpipe at the moment. Soft clays I'll never use because I never want to make tabs. Is there any way I can just fix this real quick just by insert something? Yeah, insert this into here, I guess, whatever. I just fix that. Some molten glass, which I blow to make air orbs and stuff. All my gears for skilling. Hopefully I'll be able to get rid of these soon. Loads of tomes. Not sure what to do with those. These I can turn in, but I'll probably just keep these stacked up for a while. What else? These being the bones. Every time I like finish a fishing session, I go and bank the fish essentially. I fish to a full inventory and bank it. So yeah, this is for when summoning comes out. I could probably get rid of this now because doesn't this have a bloom effect as well? Let me just check. It does have bloom, so I can use that. So I don't need the sickle unless like you need the sickle for something else. I'll have to research that. These barks aren't actually worth collecting if you do Vorkath. So I need to use all these because these aren't actually worth collecting GP wise, which I found fascinating. I've got a scepter here, but I need another one. I really do need another one. All these dragon bolts and things like fletching and stuff. I need to start using these tuna potatoes as well for food because I'm going to be running out soon. And a lot of this at the bottom here is just Winter Todd loot. So the burnt pages, the raw fish and things. I'll keep that until 200 mil. But then I could probably do like some funky cooking experience with that. What else? These javelin heads, where they come from? I know these come from dragons and things, but the rune ones, I'm not really too sure. Probably from rune dragons. So I just know some normal seaweed. That's all the bank standing I've done with the molten glass, so you can kind of see a representation of that. What else? Some arrow tip heads for arrows I never use. Again, I've got like loads of buckets. So these crystal dusts, I'll just move these over here. So again, you get loads of shards from Gauntlet. I'll never run out of divines, and I can't really drop these over. So yeah, that's stuck in there. These salts I mined when I was at work on my mobile, just so I could actually do something 0 time. But now I've got the teleport in my house, so I don't really need these anymore. So I'll probably do the basalt until these are gone, and then I'll just fully stick to that. So be quite a while for me to actually get to the point where that's the case. And then finally, this is just the Sepulchre stuff. I'll get Dark Graceful eventually, but yeah, you got the ring, got the hammer, you got the lockpick, and some teleports. These teleports are really useful because it's a 2-tick bank on a non-PvP server, so there's that. All right, this tab. So let me just seek over to the can. Went too far. Yeah, cool. So this tab, what has fundamentally changed here? Again, not that much, although what I do think will happen, I got an extra whip apparently. I know I changed my volcanic whip into a normal whip. What I do think will happen though is that a lot of these duplicate barrow pieces, again, so like my barrow KC tells me that I completed barrows. I know I completed barrows, but the collection log says I haven't, right? So I'll keep a set each. I mean, I've only got one Aram's robe skirt and one Darrett's platelet, so I need to leave these out, right? But all the rest of these, I can just keep a set, and that'll save, 12 inventory spaces, and I can send all of these into the def storage. If you guys didn't know, def storage, so if you have an item worth 10k or more, you can send it to the def pile, so you can use that to pay for your def costs rather than actual GP, right? So all of these duplicates you have in your Ironman are now very, 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 very useful. So all these things I can just get rid of, all these Vac helms and things. Just don't need them anymore. And if I do need them, I can just like redo it essentially. So that's like basically have all my Vorkath deaths covered from all the dupes I had over my account, essentially, from not getting rid of anything or dropping anything over. Like these Sarah swords, for instance, I don't need. There's going to be no use for these unless I'll keep one just in case it's a clue step. But that's fine. These I don't think these are more than 10k, but every time you get one of these, just send it into the death storage. These crystals, if I get another pair of ranger boots, just send it in. Don't need it. I've got one Pegasians. Yeah, I've got two Pegasians already, and I got another one in the in the what's it? Clue casket anyway in my house, so don't really need that. These warrior rings, I'm never gonna use a warrior ring ever unless I need it for a stash unit, so I'll just send that. Yeah, these staffs and dark bows and things, all of these things can just be sent there, so that's really nice. Anyway, back to the tab. These crystal keys I'll turn into the actual crystal key chest for the dragon pieces if I get any. Black mask I can just send through. Don't really need these ecumenical keys anymore except for Armadillo. I'll keep these around. Yeah, the dragon crossbow don't need anymore because again I've got an Armadillo crossbow now, which is sitting here, so I don't really need that. But why can't I? What Jagex, please? I need to be able to store these. I might just revert these back into the seeds and then turn them back because this crystal armor stuff I'm not going to use. Like unless I go for all pets for Hydra, I'm not going to be using it. So 67 heads. Yeah, but this tab here. This hasn't changed much since then. The only tab that's changed really is the end tab. But the only thing I'm considering really for this tab is sending a lot of this Barrow stuff into the log. Tell me what you think, guys. Should I comment below? Should I actually send a lot of this stuff in? Because I haven't really looked at it yet. Like these Godsword shards, I should probably send the spare ones in. All right, so this tab, the final tab. Let's just go seek to it. Yeah. So everything. So yeah, got Blade Saldor now. Got Infernal Cape now. And yeah, this tab is looking fucking sexy now. Really, really nice. Really happy with how this tab's looking. This is basically my Slayer tab, but also my gear tab at the end. So everything I need for Slayer is here, even though I've got tabs down the ends now for everything. I still keep everything in the way I used to have it. These longbows are still here. I'm probably never gonna alch these unless I really need GP. And everything that I alch, I kind of just send to this tab. And this is the remnants of the alch. Got these battle stuffs to do and all these things here. Yeah, all the bones, all the hides, just a lot of bank stuff. A lot of these things to alch as well. I'm still doing Wyvern tasks. I've never had a Visage. That'd be another thing to add to a collection. Never had a Visage, so just kind of adding those in. But yeah, really happy with the Infernal Cape. I've got 5 Ferocious gloves I can send into the pile. Just keep a spare one just in case I lose one. But you know what I mean? Like I've got a spare BCP. So if I just keep a minimum of 2 of everything, I've got like Prims. I've got these tassets I can just send in. I never have to spend think about it, right? So like Duke and Luke were actually saying this in their ramble. I'll link that in the description because it's a really good ramble. That like Vorkath, like people die on their Vorkath tasks all the time. No one's flawless, right? And that's a big chunk of your GP that you're spending as an Ironman that isn't going into construction, smithing, herblore, or fletching, right? But now I've got all these spare things, and the payment for Vorkath comes out of that coffer. I never have to spend actual GP again. I can just spend these items which I've got, which is sitting here useless. So my actual raw GP, whose value has been increased from the death update, which is actually quite interesting to think about. So for all you PVMers out there, and if you swap your gold to 200 mil ore, really pay attention to your GP count because that can be circumvented a lot from not having to spend 100k every time you die at Vorkath. Because again, you will die at Vorkath a lot, especially out of 30k times. Like if you die like 3 times per task, that's 300k per task, and you kill like 30. That's like 100 mil. And if you just send like these Ferocious gloves and the whips that you get and these Brimstone rings, I don't need these, but if I just send all that, then that's fine. So yeah, these will all be spent eventually, but I'm kind of just stacking it up at the moment. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I had a lot of Vorkath bones that I dumped in, so yeah, that's the bank. Now let's go for the collection log. The collection log. So a couple of these things are pre-collection log. So Hydra, 2 pets, hilarious. Hydra, the only thing I was missing was the dragon knife, but that's my KC for that. I killed a couple more. I think it was like 1-3 something, but I definitely killed a couple more. Barrows 2722. I completed it 2726. I did another chest just for a clue. I need to grind that eventually. Callisto, I need to get a tyrannical ring eventually, but I've done 109 kills. That was when I was going for the pickaxe, but I ended up. Shit, did I get that from Callisto? I think I got my pickaxe from Callisto actually, so I did show up. Cerberus, again, that's not showing, but that's completed except for the jar. Yeah, the jar and the pet. Again, I'll probably that's all fine. That's all fine. So Zilly, that's completed. I've got the hilt. I just need the hilt and pet. Corp I'll go to eventually. That's nothing. Kings, that's done. Just need pets. Fight caves, got 2 capes, but 3 jads. So one for the stash unit, one for the Inferno, and one that I used. Or I think I lost the cape. I think I had actually lost the cape. So yeah, Gauntlet fully complete. Bang, 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 bang. Look at that. That's nice. I think these crystal weapon teas come from what's it? Zora as well, which is weird. I don't know why. Or maybe I just got 24 weapon seeds in 567 kills. I don't know. Growlor got the pet. I spooned that completely. That was nice. And this is like a full collection log essentially. So I'll probably complete that later on if I feel like it. Mole, that's done, but I got the pet for that too. Never done this. Should I go do this? I don't know. I mean, that's just like completionist shit. Spori, just standard. Inferno, 1KC, bang, bang, bang. KQ, got the head, don't really need to go back. KBD, again, that's if I want a pet. Kraken, pet, Kriara. Yeah, the only thing I'm missing is the hilt. So I'd have to go back for that, but I've got 8-7 at the moment. Again, 3KC, Spoon Sphere. Never done Nightmare or that, or Sarachnis or Scorpia. Let's go Tizo. What's it looking like here? Oh yeah, you get Dark Totem, drop some Tizo anyway. Don't have to pet yet, 111 KC. That's kind of wild. I might go here for the pet eventually because I got full gear for it now. Anyway, Vetinatis, got the ring, got the pickaxe for that. Veti had never really been to. Vorkath, yeah, so I don't have the pet yet, but that's fine. Winter Todd, what's this looking like? Just start with Dragon Axe. Volcano, never been, but kind of want to go for the Tool Seed. Just so I have a crystal, because I have so many shards at the moment. And Zora, yeah, never got a Tansfang on collection log, even though, yeah, never got a Tansfang on collection log, even though I've got 10 Tansfangs. So that's pretty wild to think about. And yeah, 7k kills, never got the pet, so I'm probably never going to get that pet, which is really unfortunate. I have no reason to go back to Zora, so raids, spoon that dex, and yeah, none of that at all. Clue stuff, just slowly working on beginner clues. This will complete during time. With this, got 2 of the capes and managed to get 2 flare trousers as well. Where are they? There. So I got 1, which I actually grinded for, but then I got another one quite quickly afterwards when I was just doing them passively. That's all fine. Ranger boots, got 1 on. So I've got 3 pairs. I've got 2 pegs. Wait. Yeah, 3 pairs. So I got 2 pegs and 1 in the house, and I got 2 more crystals to use when I actually get them, which I'll get eventually. Back to clues. Hard's got a gilded 2H, that was cool. And I might do a Seibe and start grinding out for these, but yeah, a lot of this is already complete. I've already done a lot of this already. Same with elites, a lot of this is already done. Got the rangers, got these ranger things, that's fine. But yeah, this will slowly complete eventually. Masters, I like doing masters, to be honest, and I do want some ornament kits, so we'll just figure that out. Wait, did I say Dragon Defender? Yeah, I do have a Dragon Defender ornament kit, and then the shared stuff. Never had that. Mini games. Let's check this out. Bob Assault, no. Castle Wards, no. Trawler, done that obviously. So yeah, Sepulchre. So I can go buy all this now, except for the dies and the pages. I can sort that out eventually. That's all fine. I have a Master Wand. Just curious going through these actually. Just kind of give you guys an idea. Don't have the watering can. Don't need it. And trouble brewing. Fuck all that shit. Fishing, all pets. I've got 9 pets. Yeah, 9 pets. Got the Gauntlet pet. Yeah, that's nice. But yeah, I've had 2 rock golems, 2 hydras. I posted on Twitter as well. I had a back-to-back imp champ scroll. So I got one getting ecumenical keys, which made me get the music track. So I might go for music cape soon, but I need to run a TOB for that, which I don't want to do. But then I got one like 10 minutes later, so I was like, rip my RNG. But my RNG is actually pretty fun, so just kind of going through these. The collection log. Never been to Revs, probably never will. I'll probably just buy a cape just to get that collection log slot, to be honest, and sell it back. Skilling pets. Heron, kind of working on beaver. Chinch, yeah. That's another thing. Like, I feel like going for all pets is realistic. Not realistic for me, obviously. Yeah, I got a jaw as well. But for going for a significant amount of them would be a fun thing to do. Because I've got Bandos already. I've got the Young Elf already. So it's just these things, really. Just kind of scrolling through. All these things come through. Yeah, that's the collection log. And then if I just go to the house, kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm working with in the house. Make sure your house is 2-tick, guys, please. Make sure it's 2-tick. So yeah, I need to get a scepter for that. That's for building my stuff over there. Portal Nexus is in here. Let's just have an explore. Yeah. So yeah, here's all my pets plus the Hellcat. Fucking love this corrupted young elf. That's nice. Tangle Root made it like that. I haven't changed my Rocky though. Yeah, don't have any of these outfits, but I might start collecting those. I searched the rack. I've got a Wilderness Cape, which is the Team Cape 0. So I just stored one in there, and then I have a Skull Cape somewhere else, I think. And then got a Concave Crafting Cape, just in case I need those for the individual. And Gauntlet Cape, obviously, because of the Gauntlet. What do I have in here? Ghostly Robes. Don't know why I have that. I have a spare Pyromancer outfit in here. What's in the armor case? Scrolling through Rogue Armor, obviously. Mono Gear, obviously. Chasing 5. Clue Hunter outfit. The Helm. There's more. Ooh. Some Halos. Didn't know this. And then I might, yeah, I'll probably get the Vire Noble outfit back and store it, because it's probably going to be useful for some shit. And then if I just go through these, what I've got. So you kind of already saw that already. For the easies, just got quickly scrolling through. Just again, just a quick snapshot. Stored the spare flare trousers and the other ones in the stash unit, so that's fine. Yeah, Cape of Skulls is here. Golden Chef's hat is here. Oh yeah, that's the reason I couldn't store the other thing, the Team Cape. Hold on, mediums. Slowly complete mediums. Got a spare Ranger boots if I need it. So that's fine. Slow scroll, slow scroll. Still haven't done like 400 mediums though. But climbing boots G. If we go to hards, hards is the one I've completed the most. I just need a couple things left. I need a helm for that. I think my Guthix armor is out of the house at the moment because I need it for the Durastep. I might just put it back in when I can. Let's have a look. Yeah, these are fully done pretty much. Just need the legs for that. Gilded stuff obviously, but I got the Runehander, two-hander here. I can outclaw the Dragonhide boot, so I will do that. Got one shield, and yeah, that's fine. Elite. So there's a couple things in elite. Got the heavy casket for that. Ranger's tunics in here. Ranger's tights in here as well. So yeah, a couple things for elite, and then master. Did I put anything in master? Yeah, these masks here. Bowl wig. Some hoods, stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, that's the account update. That's my life update. That's some thoughts on some controversial topics. On Frasergate, I covered that. Is there anything else I'm missing? You even had a pause. Hopefully that didn't corrupt the whole thing. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Got the Inferno Cape. My goals now are just continue playing the game, do some dailies. Maybe go for virtual levels, 20 more all. Might do a lot more construction just to get it out of the way because I got the cash for it. Yeah, man. I guess this is like the end of an era for me in terms of my PVM stuff and the beginning of my skilling grind again. So next time you'll probably see me spend all of this again, and we'll just see where we are. Maybe I'll be slaying a lot more because now I've got the gear for it. I might just be doing more Slayer. Zami will probably be complete. Might have another 200 mil in fire making by that time. Shit, man, I don't know. Let's find out. I look forward to recording another one of these in another year or so, and hopefully this gives you a lot of content just to listen to. But that's all one take, first take. One banged it. Cool. All right, take care of yourself. Follow me on Twitter, VatiRS. Make sure you comment and subscribe to a channel which doesn't upload anything. I upload things once a year. But Twitter's going to be mainly the only place where I update you guys a lot. So yeah, hopefully that came out okay. I didn't really check the recording on microphone levels beforehand, so hopefully it's not too echoey. Shit, man, let's just see how it goes. All right, stop recording. Goodbye, everyone.